everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabella and today we are going to be discussing my October goals for 2023. I'm going to be showing you basically my social media plan for October and also my goals that I want to try and accomplish this month, which is really weird because I never do goals, and also I was just really feeling inspired this month, so why not make some goals and let's see if we can hit most of them. Also, I will be referring to my laptop, which will be beside me, so if I look down at any time throughout the video, that is what I'm referring to, so I do not forget my goals, and also I do not mess up on what those goals are, because sometimes I write them down but sometimes my brain rethinks and reconfigures what they actually are. We have 4 categories to cover in today's video. We have personal, fitness, creative, and business. Beginning with personal goals, for October, I want to try and do 7 courses, and I don't really have any specific categories for these courses, but more like just overall courses that can help like improve skills, further interests, or like improve like other aspects of my business that I cannot otherwise gain. I also want to read 4 books. I did not choose this number per se, more like my friend suggested this number. So 4 seems pretty reasonable, meaning I should be aiming for 1 a week. But yeah, let's see how well this month goes reading wise. Now, the next goal is one that is pretty long, and it's just all the series I want to try and read in the month of October. So we have the If Love series by Anna Huang, and there is like 4 books in the series. So I want to try and get through all those books. I don't actually know anything about the series because I've never heard people talk about it. The only series I know that is like really popular from her is the Twisted series, which is the next series I want to try and finish this month. So I have been reading this series since I think May, but I want to try and finish it this month because October will hopefully be a good reading month because it's like warm but not too warm, and also the weather is really pretty in October. The next series, which I found out is actually going to be expanded into like a more larger series than originally planned, is the Celestial Kingdom series by Su Lin Tan. And basically I've heard it's a very good like series for beginning like fantasy and all of those kind of like books, and I want to read the 2 books currently out, which are Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior. And continuing with the fantasy, because I decided I want to read fantasy this month, I also want to read the Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang, which only has 3 books. So hopefully those series go well. I have seen some of those books actually, and they look quite long. So if I don't get through all of those series, I'll be happy to get through at least 1. The next category is my fitness goals, which technically is only 1 goal, which is just to do 15 minutes of exercise a day. And that can like range from like yoga to cardio to strength or core exercises. I don't really mind as long as I hit 15 minutes per day. This is actually part of like a longer kind of goal for the year, but for the month of October, I just want to do at least 15 minutes of exercise a day. The third category is my creative category, which kind of focuses on my like writing projects. So if you follow my TikToks, you would have seen me talking about like project poetry. And that is one of the goals. But before we get to project poetry, we are going to talk about my other writing projects that I want to try and focus on in the month of October. So if you participate in NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month in November every year, you would know that October is technically considered Preptober for writers. So while I do not necessarily know if I'm going to be participating in NaNoWriMo this year, even though I will have more time than like every other year I've participated, I'm still not certain if I want to actually participate this year. So despite that uncertainty, I still have a few projects that I could potentially work on if I do choose to participate in NaNoWriMo. And one of those projects is Project Hallmark. And these are all like under code names, which is why they all have like project in front of them. But Project Hallmark, what I want to do is finish the outline for this month. It's a 24 chapter book, and I've only outlined 2 chapters. So it would be great to finish those outlines, and it could be a potential project for me to work on. The next project I want to do is Project Belonging. So with this project, it's gone through very different like cycles in regarding to how I usually write books. So this project is currently in like draft 2 revision stage, and while it's in the revision stage, there are some issues I've come across with this book. And right now, the goals that come with this book are to finish draft 2, re-outline for draft 3, and change the timeline for draft 3, which is the major issue I found when I was writing draft 2 so far. And I'm still in the beginnings of it, so technically I could just like combine those drafts together, but something about it feels wrong, so I might just like rush the rest of draft 2 and just like do a, I guess, fresh start for draft 3. The next one is actually a pretty long goal, and I do not see this like book series coming out anytime soon. Preferably it would come out next year, but with the way things are going and other book projects, I don't think that is going to happen. So anyhow, but for the next writing goal I have is my Christmas series, and all I want to do for that series is to plan the full books that I want to write. So I was very skeptical about this because it's definitely going to be a lot different to my usual books, which are standalones. This is going to be an interconnected series, so it's going to take me a bit more time to plan, and I would love to like write one of those books during NaNoWriMo if I get around to planning those full books. So the next one is also technically like a series related goal, and this is for a poetry collection, but it's going to be like a 10 book collection. So I was thinking and envisioning that like each book would have like its own separate storyline, but then there would be like the series kind of like storyline. So I would like to figure out all the titles for those 10 books, which I have like plans so far for, but I'm not sure if I want to keep those titles that I currently have, so they might change, and it would be nice to have those consolidated titles. And of course, because I don't have much going with this collection so far, it would be great to like figure out what the parts and like poem titles will be. So it would be nice to have like the poetry collection basically quote unquote planned, but like not written yet. If I choose to write this in the month of November, then it'll be a different story. But as of now, for October, I just want to plan and have my titles ready for my poetry collection series. Now, the final project that I want to focus on is Project Poetry, and basically it is October 1st as of when I'm filming this, but I haven't finished draft 1 yet, and I would love to finish draft 1 in October, at least read through the draft and make notes for a draft 2, hopefully do draft 2 and finish it, find betas to help me with like, I guess, storyline development for the poetry collection, and at least take a break while my betas read through this. And this goal was kind of like, I guess, ambitious, because when I wrote my timeline of when I think I wanted to send these to my betas, I did not really consider this, but if my betas do get it back to me early and I still have time in the month of November, I would love to implement their feedback and complete draft 3. So welcome to my Notion. Here is my Medium plan for October, and as you guys probably know, I do upload to Medium 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays as well. So if you guys want to go and check out some of the extra poems on there, you can, but it's literally pretty similar to what I post on, I guess, TikTok, so it's not that different theme-wise, but the poems there are different. So if you do want to go check out for like extra poems, feel free to do that. I also have my TikTok plan, and I'm doing things a little differently this month. During the work week, I will be doing poetry TikToks, and on the weekend, as you can tell from this plan, there will be like different, more like personal related kind of, I guess, TikToks. So expect more study vlogs, day in my lives, or writing vlog. As you know, for YouTube, I will be uploading 3 times a week, and this is just a bit of a sneak peek. For my Instagram, since I'm starting this also in October, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I do know I want to do poems on Monday and Friday, and I'm going to do more personal or like I guess, other photos on Wednesdays, so I will be posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. It just seems like the most reasonable kind of like weekly schedule for me. And finally, if you have not followed my Threads account yet, there are just extra poems as well, similar in theme to the ones on TikTok and Medium. So if you need extra poetry or want to read more from me, you can just go over to my Threads account. It's all under @Isabella Juanita Lit. Of course, all of these videos, TikToks, pictures, etc. are subject to change, but this is basically what I've scheduled so far for October. The final category in my October goals for 2023 is my business category, which only has 2 goals, but they're like part of larger goals for the whole year. So the first goal for this category is to finish writing my business plan. I want to have my plan finalized and ready to go so that I can start like actually doing my business stuff and like publishing books either end of November, in December, or early January, depending on when I feel like the book is ready and when it's perfectly ready for like publication to me. And the next goal, which is technically broken into 2 smaller goals, is like a promotion-based marketing kind of goal. And while this is definitely a long-term goal, it is actually really different, and like each month it changes. So for the first business, I intend to do 5 reels and 10 posts, and for the second business I intend to do 15 posts and 3 reels. So it's more experimental because I don't actually know how well each of these will go, but I have noticed that for some of these businesses it does like differ, so it'll be really interesting to run a few experiments in this month and just see what results we kind of generate and what we should continue doing in the future. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and got to see a bit of a sneak peek into what you will be expecting this month on my different social media platforms. And yeah, so I will be posting 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, hopefully. If not, sometimes you'll have random uploads throughout the week if I do miss one of those days. But other than that, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!